What's going on, guys? This is Brooks Beard with King Entertainment, and I have one of our students that are in our program. His name is Arion Herbert, and I'll kind of let him introduce himself and introduce his business and kind of give you guys an idea of what he does.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Brooks, for that introduction. My name is Arion Herbert. I'm actually the co-owner, my wife and I, of an adult sports recreational league called Main Attraction Recreational Sports, more commonly referred to by the acronym named MARS. And what we offer is a variety of adult sports activities, adult recreational sport activities, ranging from adult co-ed basketball, dodgeball, softball, and one of our more popular sports, adult co-ed kickball.
Cool. So, in a summary, Arion is like the kickball king, right? And probably I would say on the East Coast, he's the kickball king. So he's being modest right now. But Arion joined our program probably about 3-4 months ago, and I know he was, he can kind of, get into that a little bit about, kind of what his problem was, but. He joined our program, and once Arion got in our program, he started crushing it, man. And so Arion, tell me, I guess prior to joining our program, what problems did you kind of face, prior to joining our program in your business?
So prior to joining the program, we've been in existence, our organization, for about 3 years. And, one of the things that was really important to us was really trying to get an understanding on how to grow our business. In our previous 2 years, we thought that a great way for us to grow our business was to start creating kickball tournaments, where we actually offered this product to, players in the kickball community from all throughout the nation. And we noticed that in us doing it, we were noticing that we were averaging about 12 teams for each tournament. And with that, I mean, obviously, with those being our first few tournaments, it was a good starting point. But obviously, with that, you want to use that as a platform to continue to grow and build.
Right.
So one of our biggest challenges was really learning about how we were going to be able to get our product in front of the right audience in order to help it grow. So, with the course and really with learning a lot about what you offered, it definitely helped us do that. So, we went from having 12 teams in our tournament last year in 2018 to our most recent tournament, we grew to 32 teams.
Y'all crushed it.
Yeah, crushed it. So, and you talk about the business growth. When you look at just the numbers, you talk about going from 150 players on average, and in the course of 12 months, we grew that to over 650 players that participated over the course of a weekend. That's unheard of as far as business growth. So.
Right. So, once and that's the thing, we kind of helped you guys with running your Facebook ads. And I mean, and like you said, you grew from 12 to 32 teams. And I mean, that just, your bottom line just help you guys, from that aspect, right? Get more money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's good. Now, what parts of our program has probably helped you guys the most?
Without a doubt, I think it was the Facebook ads. Being as closely connected to the kickball community that I am, I had close-knit relationships with a lot of players, and we were able to somewhat grow our product to a certain degree. But without a doubt, being able to properly run those ads and get them in front of the right people, it allowed us to expand and connect with an audience that was far greater than the existing kickball community that we were aware of, which we believe it helped us tremendously. So, I would have to say the number one thing was learning how to properly run Facebook ads. And I also want to add that I was running Facebook ads prior to, connecting with you guys and doing the course, but properly running Facebook ads, I was not, so, it's night and day. It's night and day.
Night and day, right.
Thinking you understand how to do it to really learning the ins and outs and learning how to do it and seeing the effects. So, yeah.
Right. And we find that a lot, we help people a lot in their promotion business and marketing their business and in general in our program, man. We find that a lot, man. A lot of people are running ads, but they're not doing it right.
Right. And that's the thing.
Like you mentioned, getting to the right target audience is the key.
Absolutely.
That's
Getting to the right target audience. Yep.
Yeah. So what do you think is the biggest reason you wanted to start our program?
Growth. I think, obviously anyone who, just decides to be an entrepreneur and start a business, it'd be foolish to say that you are starting a business without wanting to one day see it flourish and become, something that you can live off of for the rest of your life. And, for us, that's the primary goal. And doing it as long as we've been doing it for about 2 to 3 years, you start to see a common trend as far as your business returns. And my wife and I, we really wanted to take it to another level. We wanted to grow our business, and in order to grow your business, you're gonna have to take a different approach. I think Einstein said it best. The definition of crazy is to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. So, we were doing the same thing over and over and over, and obviously we're seeing the same results. So, we knew that it was important to us to take a different approach if we wanted to see different results.
Right. And again, we find a lot of people, especially, and it's crazy because I know you had a background prior to Kickball in promotions, right? And I know you kind of mentioned that you kind of implemented that to what you guys are doing. So talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Well, with the party promotion, this is something that my brothers and I did when I was fresh out of college. So I was young, 21, 22-year-old, just really trying to kind of really, learn my way and really try to be an entrepreneur. But I learned that in a lot of what I learned in that business, I was able to directly correlate to my kickball business and marry the two. And a lot of that was really more so what I learned on as far as the marketing side of things, how I market my product and my business, and also being able to leverage sponsorships. I learned that at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
As a 22-year-old, securing sponsorships from different liquor companies. And I just kind of took that same train of thought and I kind of just, brought it over to the kickball world. And I see that it's been somewhat effective for us.
Right.
Just other little things that I was doing that I really didn't understand what I was doing at the time. And then you look in hindsight, you're like, man, building my database, that was important too. So, at the time we were building up our database and learning the importance of that. So those are just like some of the smaller things that I would say I did at a young age that I was able to hold on to. And then once we started this business, I was able to bring it over with me over here. So
right. And the crazy thing is we talk about that in our program about sponsorships and building your database. And from promoting previous events, that's important to build database, man.
Yeah, that's key. I mean, if you really want to survive and take your business to the next level, you have to have a strong database. And one of the ways that you do it is being creative in how you capture that information from your audience. And once you get it, you hold on to it. You hold it close to you because it's such valuable information. It's valuable. The information is so valuable.
You've been a vet in the game, and we find, because again, we talked to a lot of people about helping them with their promotion business and everything. A lot of things we find is that they don't have a database, man. They don't know how to get sponsorship. So it's like they're leaving money on the table.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, and it starts from there. And even if you don't have, I think with a lot of startup businesses and new entrepreneurs, they get discouraged because they see, that they're starting this business and they don't have a database. They don't know how to build one, and they don't really want to go through the nitty gritty in order to build it. And then also too, I think that a lot of people really don't understand creative ways in order to build it. There's so many different ways where you can get creative and just secure the information that's necessary for you to have in your possession so that you can essentially grow your business. And it doesn't happen overnight. You don't, build this, huge network overnight, but if you take the proper steps, eventually you'll be there. And before you know it, you'll be running an empire.
And a lot of people don't know the steps. They don't know where to start. They don't know really how to build a database and get access to these sponsorships so they can start using sponsors to
Yeah.
help them with the expenses part of, you know,
And that's key. That's key. I mean,
cutting
you
check.
have, you're right. You have so many businesses that are looking for an opportunity to invest in different products, and whether it be for tax write-off purposes or what have you. You have so many. The money is out there, and if you can secure that money and creatively come up with ways to connect with your sponsor and provide them with a return on their investment, then that's going to essentially help you offset your costs. And I mean, there's just that's that there's a whole other conversation
exactly.
that we could go so deep into the sponsorship conversation. It's another conversation, but it's definitely out there. The money's definitely out there.
So what do you see happening in the future, kind of now, as a result of you having access to our program, having access to these Facebook ads? Like, where do you see your business going now?
Oh man, I personally believe that we're going to experience huge growth in 2020.
Right.
And when I say huge growth, I'm talking about bigger growth from what we experienced in 2018 versus 2019. And that's pretty hard to believe. Now with what we have learned with Facebook, we've jumped out on the ledge, and we're actually, for the first time ever, offering these same tournaments that we're doing in multiple cities.
Right. So you're taking it on the road.
Taking the show on the road. And, I may not have necessarily have done this or taken this approach if I wasn't confident that we can reach an audience in cities where I'm not based out of.
Right.
But now, knowing how to properly and effectively run these ads, I feel confident we can go anywhere, to any city, and be able to connect with an audience that's going to be interested in what we have to offer, and what we have to offer is appealing to them. So it's time to take the show on the road.
That's crazy. And I know you're talking about you guys doing one of your kickball tournaments in the Big Apple.
In the Big Apple, we have New York City. I'm actually flying up there next week. My wife and I will be up there next week, just gonna take a look at these fields. But we have 3 to 4 cities that we're doing next year, all Turf Wars branded, I think it's gonna be it's a really scary time for us.
I'm coming up there, man. I'm coming.
Yeah, man. You have to, man. It's gonna be scary, because it's like, I think we're gonna take it to, we're growing to another level. And, now it's really gonna be, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but I'm ready for it, and I'm so confident based on what we've learned so far. I mean, we still have a lot more to learn, but based on what we've learned so far, I'm confident that we're gonna be able to, blow the lid off this thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, man. I'm with you. I'll definitely be up there too in New York, man. So let me know the dates once y'all get everything secured.
July 13th. June 13th and 14th.
Perfect.
June 13th
okay,
and
I'm
14th
there,
to
man.
2020. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast, man. The Big Apple.
That's what's up. So, all right. Final question. Like, what would you tell anyone that's thinking about joining our program?
Do it. I would definitely encourage someone who's on the fence to go ahead and do it. I mentioned it earlier. If you want to see different results, you have to take a different approach. And I think what a lot of people, if you have a business, or if you're starting a business, you've already taken that first step to investing in yourself, believing in yourself. That belief in yourself is already there. We get so many people who they invest in these, in 4-year degrees and doctorates and MBAs, and they don't necessarily see the return on their investment after they've completed these courses.
Right. A lot of them don't even do what they've been doing. They do something totally different.
And the amount that they've invested in themselves in order to obtain those certifications does not compare to the amount where you can invest in yourself, do a simple course, and learn so many different resources and tools that you can apply to your everyday business. It's mind-boggling. When you compare the two, it's almost unfair. So I would say, for anyone that's on the fence, don't hesitate. Just go ahead and do it. I personally have invested. Being an entrepreneur for me was something that was very, very important. And I personally invested a lot of money in myself that hasn't benefited the way that I thought it would, and hasn't even benefited to a fraction of the way learning what I've learned so far through you guys for my business. So, my one piece of advice: don't hesitate, just do it.
Makes sense.
So,
Makes sense.
let's
All
do
right,
it.
man. We'll definitely appreciate your time.
Oh
And
man, you're
good
welcome, man.
luck
No
with
problem.
everything with your business. And,
Oh
we'll
man,
be chopping it up again in the Q&A call.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely,
all right,
absolutely.
man. Well, take care.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, you man. Take it
All
easy.
right. All right.
All right.
Peace.